So the premise of playing Shylock is that a Toronto theatre has canceled the Merchant of Venice after one performance.
There's obviously been pressure put on the board of directors of the theatre that this show should not go on at this time of rising anti-Semitism. And so it's been canceled.
Canceled. And I should have known. I should have known the last time a Jew got this close to a cross, it did not end well.
I, as a character, go out there angry, frustrated, hurt, vulnerable, and confused and upset. And I talk about the history of the play, and I talk about why I absolutely do not think that this is an anti-Semitic character.
I didn't get a nose job or a new name. My parents did not survive the Holocaust so that I could erase myself.
How real does this premise feel to you?
Totally real. I believe that, first of all, the character is playing his father playing Shylock. Because my father was an actor in Yiddish theater in Poland, and I tell the honest, my father always wanted to play Shylock, and Hitler stopped him. And so part of the reason I wanted to do it was to do it like my father would do it. So I was speaking like my father is speaking, and I am dressed like Orthodox clothing as Shylock. So I'm a very Jewish character.
So there are many layers to this play, many layers to your character. And cancel culture is only one of them. As a veteran of the arts, as a longtime actor, how do you feel about the state of the arts now and cancel culture?
Isn't it always more dangerous to censor a play? Isn't censoring a piece of art always more dangerous than staging it? No matter what its opinion is, these things need to be aired. I mean, the fact this character of Shylock is a character that was a lightning rod for anti-Semitism for 400 years. Shouldn't we talk about that? Shouldn't we stage that? Shouldn't we have this discussion? There's a wonderful thing. My father once was, his father was an Orthodox man and discovered that his son was an actor. And it was horrible for my Zeta, my grandfather. And he asked my father how he could do something so shameful, so indecent. And my father simply said, and I put this in the play, and he says to his own father, he's only 16, he says, people, if a theater is good, people see themselves. They see themselves on the stage. And they laugh and they cry, and for a few minutes each night, they don't feel so alone. And my Zeta, who had said to him, how can you go so far away from God? Listened to my father say that, and he said, well, maybe it's not so far away from God after all.
In the play, the fictional note written by the theater saying that this should be shut down, one of the reasons they cite is rising anti-Semitism. So let me ask you, this play was written before October 7th, but you have lived in Toronto for a long, long time. So put the current level of anti-Semitism in perspective.
Over 3,000 years of
No,
it?
over your 70 or 80 years.
I'm a child of survivors. I'm a child of Holocaust survivors. And anti-Semitism, first of all, it's such an insanely general word. It is otherness and fear of otherness that we need to talk about. What we need to talk about is holding hands with everybody who feels that they are other, which is who, everybody? And when we try to separate and exclude and say, I'm boycotting this one little section here, I'm going to boycott this section, they're going to be excluded. We're going to accept them, but not you. What are we doing? What are we adding? I can only tell you it hasn't felt any different to me than it always has in terms of otherness. Actors have felt this forever.
You talked about the importance of the arts in dangerous times. So let me ask you about another set of headlines as we sit here on a beautiful day in Vancouver. Donald Trump, his constant threats of making Canada the 51st state, the tariff war. What do you make of all of that?
Mark Twain said, politicians and diapers need to be changed often and for the same reason. That's what I make of it.
There are a lot of people who are kind of reassessing and reaffirming and reinvigorating their Canadianness right now in the face of these threats, and people in the arts kind of stepping forward in different ways. Mike Myers has done elbows up a couple of times.
Well, Mike Myers is going on Saturday Night Live and playing Elon Musk and making doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It was making fun of this stuff.
You know I'm the president now, right? I'm kidding. Okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Whether it's for against the left or the right. I mean, all this stuff needs to be made fun of, and humor is the great equalizer. The things the thing that most, you know what I'm frightened of mostly?
I do not.
Certainty. My background tells me when people are certain about shit, the Jews are next, or the others are next, and I've got to run for the hills. So I am not inspired by political activism. I just not in my nature.
But I guess what I'm wondering is just to reflect for a moment, as people are thinking more about Canadian things and buying Canadian, maybe watching Canadian, is there anything you want to weigh in on that?
I grew up in Montreal and Ottawa and Toronto, and it wasn't for, at that time, in the late 60s, where we had opportunities for youth and we had LIP grants and we had the beginning of the Canadian Culture Centres and the money that the Liberal governments, the real Trudeau, gave to the arts.
Jews are circumcised, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm twice as Jewish as you are. I've been circumcised twice.
I get it.
My whole generation would not have been able to do English Canadian theatre, and I'm so proud of the fact that this country did that and supported that.
What am I going to tell the group? They thought they were working the O'Keefe Center. It turns out they're working the East End Community Center.
It's better, there's free parking.
We're living in different times now, but I'm still proud of that.
Though many people would argue that we've never seen the kind of rhetoric from a U.S. president that we're seeing right now, certainly in my lifetime.
All of these things are crazy, but all I can tell you is it's great opportunity. When times are this insane, the arts need to step up and talk about shit that matters, right?
Excellent. Real pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, you too.